Welcome to Henry's Chatterbox, episode 14. And my picture went away, Randy.
Hold on, stop panicking. All I do is get minimized.
Okay, Randy, anytime something happens weird with the computer, Randy! Did I already read the introduction? Am I losing my mind?
You're losing your mind.
Today is, I'll read it again in case I haven't. Today is Friday, January the 30th, 2026. This is our 14th episode. 14th episode. We talk about life topics. We do not talk about politics. We're not professionals. Anything we say is just chit chat. That's all it is. We try to keep it clean with good, wholesome chats. We discuss a specific topic every episode. My name is Henry Berner, and Randy is here. He's.
How you doing?
You're not going to do your.
No, I gotta get up for a second.
Oh, okay. Anyway, Randy is. He's sitting right here, just a couple feet from me. He does the. All the technical stuff, getting this going. Anyway, today's topic is, well, first I want to recap from last week's topic. The whole month of January has been about changes. Last week's topic was changes in the clothes we wear, and there's been a whole lot of changes. I did want to show this shirt, talking about changes. This is a shirt that I've had for a long time, and I even had it before I retired, and it's a shirt that I really like, but I gained so much weight I can't wear it now, but I can't bring myself to throw it away. So people do get attached to clothes when I wear that shirt, I remember from before, I always got compliments, and it was very comfortable. So I do think it's important to keep the clothes you enjoy and maybe get rid of the ones you don't enjoy. And like I say, today is about changes over the years, any changes, and boy, there's been a lot of changes in my lifetime. I've seen a lot of them, and so anyway, but before we get started on that, can we go to you, Randy, for advertising?
We're just gonna be quick and easy. We're not gonna.
Okay.
Hold on a second. I'm having technical difficulties on my end of my computer. So we're going to start off with this Skip Trivia book. Henry Berner has a book called Skip Trivia. And what you're going to do is you're going to go to www.amazon.com and you're going to buy the book by going to authors and looking up Henry Berner. And like I said, you're going to go buy that book because it's a lot of fun, and it is definitely, without a doubt, a great way to get your family to work together with each other. Now, the next ad we're going to do is for my personal podcast, Stoner Nation, Cannabis World, Cannabis News, and Marijuana Tips. Remember, that is Stoner Nation, Cannabis News, and Marijuana Tips. And we do have a Facebook page. And our next ad, as soon as I pull it up. Give me a second. Like I said, I'm having issues. Where's my campaigns at? There's my campaigns. Oh, it only gave me 2.
2 what?
2 campaigns.
Oh, well. Just.
All right, I'm going to do this one because it's free. I can do whatever I want with it.
Okay, go ahead.
As soon as I get my stupid thing to work.
Oh, is this your mouse?
No, that's your mouse. I am going to need to borrow it. Give me a second, everyone. This is going to be a longer podcast than you're used to because I'm having a lot of technical difficulties on my end. And this is the first time the tech dude has had an issue. It's so much fun.
Well.
All right, here we go. I got it.
Okay.
I got it. Now, I don't want to offend nobody, but this is a paid advertisement, so we are being paid to say it. So do not get offended by what is said. I only have 2 of them, and you guys got offended by the other paid ads, so we're going this route. New research says over 80% of Americans and 3/4 of Trump supporters support American First International Assistance. Which just means you can turn around and invest in your own financial security in America by buying bonds for America. It's a Nobel Peace Prize organization that has won countless things. And it says go to Newsmax and support your local charity organizations.
Okay.
I
don't like doing
that
on my.
And that's why I turned around and I cut it. It says local charity organization the second I read it.
Yeah.
But the other one is the Second Amendment one.
Okay, yeah, I'd rather stay away from things like that. So let's let that be it on the advertisements for this.
Oh, then you're never getting paid.
Well, I
That's a discussion you can have another time, but I'm just saying, you're the one asking about getting paid on the podcast. You got to do what the podcast company tells you to do.
Well, what happened to that other commercial?
Yeah, that's not being brought up. They took that one away.
Okay.
They're redoing their sponsors.
Moving on. I apologize to anyone. I really don't want to bring politics into this podcast, either in advertising or just our chat. I just, I've seen too many heated arguments over politics.
If someone argues over an ad, then they don't need to be arguing. Then they don't need to be watching anything because everything on the news that they watch is an argument of an ad. So they're going to get offended by an ad. That's in my opinion.
Well, no, nobody's getting offended. I don't.
I'm just saying, if they were to get offended by an ad, that's on them. It's not targeting them. It's just an ad that's paying the person to say it. So when it comes down to what's more important, the person's paycheck or their personal feelings. So as I tell people, don't let anything offend you because the simple fact is, you're not the ones that are being paid to do it.
I'd like to look at the ads in the future.
All the ads have the same shit, Henry. It's either you do them or you don't get paid.
Okay, I want to say, let's move on to what we're actually here for, is talking about things. Semantics is, we're talking about changes. I'm sorry, I got so distracted just now. There has been so many changes. Now, I was born in 1951, and my whole life there's been changes, where I live, what kind of work I did, and I think that same thing applies to everyone. And we are adaptable as people, we will adapt to new things. I've lived in different climates. I grew up in Ohio, so it's, a lot of changes. And I tried to think of some of the changes, and I wrote some of them down here. Front porches, they don't seem to have them so much anymore. And that's a change that I don't like. But now people will be inside watching TV or having their evening things. But I think the front porches are gone, and that's kind of sad. One big change I notice in employment when you're looking for a job, in the help wanted ad, it clearly says a lot of them, you must be able to multitask. And that's something that, back years ago, the attitude wasn't to multitask. The attitude was, whatever you're doing, do what you're doing and do a good job at it. But now it seems to me like they're saying, don't worry so much about doing a good job. Try to do two or three things at the same time.
Yeah, no, that's not how it is at all, really. They do want you to do 2 or 3 things at once.
Yeah.
But they expect you to do it perfectly and do it for less money than what it's worth. Like Walmart itself, they will assign you to one department and turn around and have you take care of 3 departments and expect you to be able to stock all 3 departments, do inventory all 3 departments, and get all 3 departments taken care of while you're taking care of customers.
And all at the same time while you're doing all
literally, they expect you to do everything at once. And if you don't get it in a time manner, they tell you to do it. And now, here's how they do their hours. I'm going to tell you, so I used to work for them. Let's say you're in the frozen department. You got 40 hours of work for that frozen department.
Mm-hmm.
That's 40 hours has to be done in one day. That's not physically possible. So what they do is they turn around and do math and say, we need this many people to do it. Now, their math is how many people would it take if we divided by 8 hours. And the corporate tells them this is how many people you have to have there. Now, what they don't do, they don't turn around and take into account, okay, we're only going to give them 2 hours to get this done, and we're going to get 2 hours here, and then they got to spend the rest here. And so they get on you and expect you to do 3 things, expect you to do them perfectly, and then when you don't do it right, they get you're in trouble and you're fired.
Yeah.
So they expect perfection while multitasking, and they just can't expect it, and people can't expect stuff. I'm going to be honest.
Another change I've seen that's when I was young, very young, a long time ago, a real long time ago, it was kind of frowned on for a woman to work. The husband and wife, the wife stayed home and cooked and raised the kids, and the husband went to work. And there was a lot of, if I remember correctly, there was a lot of kind of protest about women work and said it wasn't good, for the economy and what have you. But I don't know. I kind of found that to be a difficult thing for a lot of people, but we've moved into that now. Now it's kind of unusual to see a woman not working.
I'm confused by that though. Like, I'm gonna be honest, 100% honest with you, and I'm going to be honest. I'm just going to say it out right here, right now. I don't care what I'm about to say offends people because I'm not trying to offend them. But my first stepfather, for December 7th, 1922, he fought in World War II.
Okay.
Now, he remembered, he's dead now. Obviously, he died when he was 72 in 2003.
Okay.
So that tells you, he's from the greatest generation, and he was a major stoner out of his mind. But we're getting off subject on that one.
Yeah.
He turned around and told me that when he was in the military fighting in World War II, it was actually viewed as a national travesty for women not to be working.
Oh, really?
He said because all the men were out fighting. Nobody was home to do the jobs, and you actually see videos from the time period.
Oh, yeah.
Of women doing manufacturing jobs, construction jobs. So what happened during the time of when your parents were doing them to the time of when you were born, that changed? I don't get that because you think that it would have been more progressed into it as people were coming back and the men were fucked up in the head and half the population of the male population was gone.
This is a family.
Listen, it may be a family, but they hear worse than that on TV describing people. Okay, I don't want to hear that.
They're not going to hear it here.
The fact of the matter is, there's no other way to describe how they were in their head. Because
messed up.
No, that's not even proper to describe it. Have you ever seen a World War II or World War I PTSD student? But what I'm saying is, you think that it would have progressed to where, okay, women are now more accepted to work, but they started protesting?
I don't know.
What happened in your generation?
A lot's happened. I just know there was a lot of people that didn't think women should be working, but now most people I know, the husband and wife both have jobs. And a lot of women have really good careers. Cell phones, that's a big thing. Wow, that was real big. Beepers, I don't know if they still make beepers or not. I don't know why. Why would a person want a beeper now?
You didn't hear what happened like 2 years ago with Israel?
No, and I don't want to hear about it now.
I'm just saying this is a prime example. There are still countries that use beepers, and
Yeah,
people are weaponizing them now.
Another big change is churches and schools. It's just so strange to think that some of the church, uh, some of the church people would be carrying guns, or schools. I mean, but I mean it's necessary. I agree with it, but it's just it's just that is a huge change. Um, and computers a big change. Newspaper, oh my gosh. I just recently found out you can still buy a newspaper here in Newport Richie, I think. Can you buy one every day? Or
yeah, and you didn't know that? Right on 19 and 52, there's a distribution.
Yeah, I know, but they used to. I knew a guy quite a few years ago. He sold newspapers on the corner, but they did away with it because they wasn't selling enough. And
no, it just got too expensive.
And you can buy. Well, no, he was making money at first, but
selling. Yeah, now it's $2 per paper that you got to sell, and you got to give them $1.50 out of what you make off per paper.
Well, they he didn't have to give them anything. He because of the advertising is where the paper said they make their money, but the newspaper is gone now. Bowling alleys. I might have made this may not be appropriate to be inserted in this one or not, but I'm going to say it anyway. Bowling alleys at one time, and I just barely remember this, when you would roll that ball and knock some pins down, the you would see whoever was back there, you would see their hands coming down and standing the pins back up, because that was a big change in the bowling alleys where where they had the automatic things.
I remember bowling. I was really good at it. I was tournaments.
I was going to try to get a job doing that, and they said, "Well, actually, we're doing away with people setting the pins up."
Pretty soon they're going to do it with all people in there.
Oh yeah. Here's a change that I've got mixed feelings about. I don't know if it's good or bad. A caregiver in nursing homes have to be a certified nursing assistant. And I believe in the basic training, but when I first started that kind of work as an orderly, which I don't even know if they use that word anymore, but as an orderly in a large nursing home, I had no training. They trained me, and they trained me a lot. I mean, a lot. I was in charge of a lot of things after a while, the oxygen tanks and the helping with the more difficult or combative residents. It was something. But here's what I really, really have a lot of debating thoughts in my head on, and that is that when they hire somebody, they have to do a background check on them, and many people will not pass the background check. And I'm a firm believer.
I got a story about that.
Okay, when I finish, you can tell.
Personal experience.
I think people should be judged by who they are now, not who they used to be. And there's a lot of people that were terrible at one time. Maybe they had drug problems. It was just a bad person, got in a lot of trouble, and they've changed their life around. But they can't get a job, And I think that's terrible. When they first come out with that background check, a lot of really good nursing assistants lost their jobs, and it was just I think that's not all change is good. There's always going to be change, but is it all good? I don't think so. barter. That was before my time, the bartering, but I've heard stories about it where you go to the doctor, you don't have any money, but you give him a chicken or a dozen eggs or something, or some vegetables out of your car. Could you imagine going to the doctor now and that you have a copay of so much today, and well, I don't have any money, but I brought a chicken for you, and throw a chicken.
Listen, with how much chickens cost nowadays, it might cost us.
Well, yeah,
copay.
The price of eggs, the doctor might come out and say, "Hey, ma'am, thanks." That's great.
There are still bartering going on, though. But back to your nursing story.
Yeah, you said you had. Randy has something he wants
now,
to share.
I'm going to come out here and I'm going to tell everyone. I got 3 felony drug charges. Mm-hmm. Now, one of them is actually a really big charge. I'm talking about, it's definitely a lot of people frown upon it, but if you guys actually read the affidavit and heard the story and everything and saw the camera, you realize I was innocent. I just got set up, standing up for my rights against corrupt cops like usual. I'm known for that. But I actually applied for this nursing home down here. I have a cooking certification, a serve safe. So I'm allowed to cook in the state of Florida at restaurants and other places that have that. Now tell me how I'd get the interview at this place called Vitality Living. It's off of 52. I get an interview. I go in there. Everything's good. I get a second interview. We're talking hours of money and all that stuff. So everything's looking real good. Then at the end of that interview, they asked me to sign for a background check. Now hold on. Why the hell do I need a background check when I'm cooking your food?
A lot of it.
That makes no sense to me, though. Like, why?
I know. Well, and that's
just because I have 3 felony drug charges and 1 misdemeanor drug charge does not mean I don't know how to cook. In fact, one of my charges is possession of marijuana. Potheads are known to be good cooks.
Okay. I understand what you're saying, but one of the reasons is the
I know you got those that.
Well, a lot of it's the insurance, and a lot of it's the law.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's kind of stupid. Why are you going to turn around and make a law that says that every employee there has to not be a felon or not have certain charges? They're not dealing with the physical patients. Like, they're not taking care of them. It doesn't matter.
That's not where the debate is. That's where I don't.
I think janitors and cooks and people that don't actually have to have medical degrees. So I do believe that everyone that deals with the patients physically have to have a medical degree. If you work in that building, you should have a medical degree. If you're an orderly or anything like that, you should have a medical degree, because I've seen too many from personal experience.
Not a degree. When you say degree, I'm thinking of 4-year college.
Yes, certified nurse and a CNA has to take 4 years of school.
No.
In the state of Florida, yes, 2 years physical, 2 years internship. Yes, my sister's one in Florida. My mom was a gynecologist in Florida. I know this for a fact. My family are medical professionals in the state of Florida. Now, with that being stated, and anyone can fact check me, and I'm going to turn around and come back and say I'm right. Anyway, as that being stated,
to be a CNA.
Yes, in the state of Florida, you do. In the state of Florida, you do. It's a law. You are a certified nursing assistant. You have to go to school for 2 years and 2 years internship.
Podcast, we'll research.
I'll pull it right up right now. I'm doing it. But like I was saying,
you don't need a degree to put a diaper on somebody and give them
if you work in a nursing home, you should be medically trained and licensed beyond a reasonable doubt. Because I've seen with my grandmother, with my grandmother, with people who were not medically degreed, did not have to take that Hippocratic oath, did not have to answer to the state medical board, which is what that degree does, make you answer to the state medical board for all your abuse of the patient. My grandmother had over 219 ulcers on her back, bed boils on her back, because they were not taking care of her. We had to move her into our house in the 90s until she died in the 90s. And then the law came out, and my other grandmother, who was in a nursing home, had the best care when she was in that nursing home, because they were all licensed.
Let's move on. Oh my gosh. One of the changes I miss, but I can understand it, and I think there's a couple of them left, and that's drive-in movies.
Okay.
Some of my childhood memories, we'd make popcorn and go to the drive-in, hide in the trunk, only to find out that we could have got him free anything because it was $1 for a carload. But the drive-ins, and I think there's still one drive-in somewhere around here that I'd like to go to. But the drive-in, that was exciting. That
okay, I'm Sunday. I looked that up. I'm going to correct what I said. No, you do not need a college degree in the state of Florida to be a CNA, but you must take 120 to 165 hours trained at a hospital in the state of Florida and pass a state board exam in order to become a certified nurse.
Yeah.
So yes, you do have to still do the college internship to get your degree in Florida, to get your certification in Florida.
All right.
It's the same as a degree.
Moving on. Another change that's coming. I think you got it now, but
all right, I think that fixed it.
Well, can they still see me?
Yes, they can still see you.
Oh, they're getting the full view. I'm just my whole thing shrunk up.
I have a feeling they didn't even hear the past 10 minutes of what we were just talking about.
Well,
oh well,
there ain't no telling. Anyway, bathrooms. That's been a big change. I don't want to have a discussion about it, but that's you know the changes in it and a lot of controversy on it in marriage. You know,
what's the controversy on bathrooms? Is either you go to the bathroom that you're genetically assigned, or you go to jail.
Right,
and that's literally how the law is now. So there's no discussion about that.
That's what I just said. I don't want to have.
I'm saying there is no discussion. It's the law now. They made that a law.
But there's still different people feel different ways about it.
Okay, well they can feel how they want. The law's law.
Okay, he has spoken.
The government has spoken. The federal government has spoken. The Supreme Court has spoken. All right.
Moving on. I got childhood memories down here. I used to have a paper route when I was a kid. I don't think any kids now have paper routes.
No, you gotta be 18.
Well, I used to get on my bicycle and it wasn't a bad route, except for Sunday. I delivered the evening newspaper, but on Sunday, I had to deliver in the morning. And there was one place that got the paper only on Sunday. It was the county home. And it was so spooky. It'd be dark when I was walking down there, the snow blowing. And it was probably about a half a mile. And it was scary. And I'd go in there and they usually bought seven or eight papers, if I remember. But people lived waiting for that newspaper to come. Shouted, popcorn in a pot. I'll never forget the time an older relative came over and we was making popcorn, watching television, myself and probably my younger brother and sister. And we put the kernels in the pot and was making it, and this older relative said, "Oh, y'all was doing it the modern way." And she sat and told us that she actually, when they made popcorn, they had to do it over an open fire with the corn cob, the way you'd roast wieners, I guess. And I found that interesting. We used the hood of a car for a sleigh in the wintertime. I don't think kids do that now. Maybe they do, but I tell you, the hood of a car, some of those old cars, you can't find no better sleigh. The only problem is every once in a while a tree jump out in front of you and you couldn't get, because it didn't have a steering wheel. So, but we kind of learned how to shift our weight and move the thing, but it was a lot of fun. The last thing I got wrote down here, so many changes, but I couldn't think of all of them. was ID. My first driver's license, I went and there was no picture on it. It had the color of your hair, the color of your eyes, and how tall you was and how much you weighed, whatever, and your address and all. And it was so easy to pass that ID around to different people because there were no pictures and no computers, so that was it. I guess we should wrap up now. I'm kind of ran out of things to talk. I don't even know if after some of the things that happened here today, I don't even know if anyone's still watching. If you are, hi, and
listen,
thanks for continuing.
They missed
to
over
watch.
10 minutes of that podcast when the cameras froze and the audio froze. So literally 90% of what went on, they did not hear.
Well, I'll be listening to it later. Anyway, Randy, for the closing.
You don't put your thing back in so I can turn this off? Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe on Rumble, Facebook, YouTube. You know what to do.
You know what to do. Now just do it.
Not even in there yet.
No, it's not in there yet. Now it is.